broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, it's Reed Farine here. Mike Long, are you on the call?
I am on the call.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Mike. It's really great to have you here. We met back in October at Onyx and Gall's event, and we talked most of the time at that event, and I'd say there were probably 50 people who came up to you and they shared the success that they're having from your teaching, your programs. People that were making five, six figures a month from training programs that you've had. And so we sat down and we talked about your program, we talked about your training, and fast forward a few months, about 5 months later, we finally were able to schedule a date where the two of us could sit down and you could share your success stories and talk about your students and the success stories of your students with my audience. And for those who don't know, Mike, you've been in marketing for a long time. I think way back in the day, you were doing a lot of stuff with the Magic the Gathering scene back in the like the mid '90s, and in fact, you were like a tournament player, if I'm not
Got it.
mistaken,
You got it.
and went all over doing that, and you even created some training programs. I think you even had a forum, like a paid membership site, like in the '90s, early 2000s, about Magic the Gathering, and that was very successful. And then, boy, John Reese's launch must have been like 2004 or 2005, and you helped him create that $1 million day with his Traffic Secrets course, and that kind of set the stage for a lot of product launches of how a lot of people do them. And then a little while later, you worked on StomperNet, I think, and helped set that up and get that growing and made that really big. And then, boy, it must have been maybe 2010 or so, you and Kelly Felix did Bring the Fresh. These are all things that just completely revolutionized the industry, things that kind of set the standard, kind of raised the bar for everyone else. So it's really an honor to have you here. And I know I'm going to learn a lot. I'm going to take a lot of notes myself. And I think anyone on the call is going to learn a ton today from you. So welcome.
That's I gotta say, in a weird way, that's basically the best introduction I've ever had. Um, may need to may need to haul you around. Uh, not just for of course, the knowledge of my background. I really appreciate that. But really, the thing that got me was what you said about, yeah, when we were in Vegas. It wasn't my event or anything like that. It was Onyx event, but it just so happened that a number of my members were there having a lot of success. Adam Lever and Grace Lever, they actually had lunch with us. They're making around 50 grand a month, and Albert Corey was there. He's making around 30 grand a month, I believe. Probably a lot more this month because his tax time is an accountant. Dave was there, he's making around 50 grand a month. There's a lot of very successful people. Jamal, obviously, around 60 grand a month. So there's a lot of successful people that were there. Actually, one of the most exciting things at that event, and we're gonna get down and dirty, but with training on free, or with a focus and framework and so forth on free traffic here in just a moment. But I do want to reflect that it was really emotional. Actually, when we were at lunch, uh, we were approached by a guy named Brandon, and Brandon has an incredible story. He's a smoke jumper. He was a smoke jumper, and a number of his coworkers. A smoke jumper is a very dangerous job. A number of his coworkers did not make it. Through a particularly rough set of fires in, I believe, in Arizona, and he was fortunately able to quit his job, and he's not making those huge numbers, but I think he's in the $10,000 range, maybe more now. I'm not exactly sure, but that was a really cool weekend. And it was really fun hanging out and talking, and so that for me that's the best introduction. And those previous programs, I'm very proud of them, proud of what we did with them. But what you're going to find out today is something I've finally been able to put my stamp on. It's the only thing I've been working on since 2012, and we're fortunate that I'm actually going to get to introduce you to more people who are having even greater success than the folks that you met before. And we're gonna focus in on giving a framework here. We got a lot to cover today. So let's just dive right in. We've got lots of good news and eye-opening stuff about what's working right now today. In what are we coming up right up on April of 2015 for people who are starting from scratch and succeeding wildly, and I mean wildly, with money getting on the internet using free traffic from search engines. Now we're going to talk about doing things differently. Sometimes this is counterintuitive for folks in order to gain an overwhelming advantage and to reap large profits with this whole internet free traffic money getting thing. One thing, however, I like to begin webinars with the Lord's Prayer to acknowledge God. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Okay, so we're in this to get profits and to help people, not to impress our Facebook friends with big gross numbers. We want high net profits, money in our pockets that we can spend, not lots of gross income that's mostly gone after expenses like paying for ads, hiring employees, outsourcers, stuff like that. Even if we get on Amazon, and we do show Amazon, we take a very high profit, high motor approach to Amazon that has to do with scaling up quickly, keeping costs low, keeping it lean and mean, so your profit margins still stay high, but so does your growth. I just kind of want to point that out. Obviously, we have some methods that are much closer to like the 90% plus profit margins, but even if you're going to do physical products, like on Amazon or e-commerce, we really still believe in keeping profits high. Now, because once you get free traffic and you get a lot of it, you get to decide how you're going to make your money. And so on this event, because that's kind of your oyster, you're getting free traffic, you get it for whatever you want. Now the world's kind of your oyster. You get to decide, do I want to make my money as an affiliate? Give me the number one in the question box. If, when you start making your money, you start getting free traffic, you're getting a lot of free traffic. Do you want to be making it as an affiliate? Give me the number one if you prefer as an affiliate. The other way that you can do it is consulting for other businesses who will instantly pay you huge checks for their help. And the third way is with your own products. Having your own products like on Amazon, where you are able to put out your own products and just make a profit from them. So give me the number one if you prefer affiliate. Give me the number two if you prefer client consulting. It's probably the fastest way to make money. And give me the number three if you prefer your own products like on Amazon. I'm very, very curious for our audience here. Reed, I'm kind of excited, kind of interested, kind of captivated. It looks like a lot of people actually are kind of leaning towards like their own products like Amazon. I myself am kind of surprised by that. Are you a bit surprised by that? Actually, no, maybe it's about even between affiliate and Amazon. Huh. It's kind of interesting to me. Well, anyways, all right. So we'll cover all the bases. Now let me ask you a quick question before we go on. How many people? Give me the number 4 if you prefer the fastest method, the most explosive method. Give me a number 4 if, regardless of which one of the three it was, if it was the most explosive, if you'd like the fastest, most explosive one. God, I think they're voting for you. Okay. Well, anyways, all right. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as we roll forward here. Okay. Now, because of our unique coaching community at OMG, which stands for One Man Gang, because each of our members is their own one man gang when it comes to money getting, we all support and help each other. Because of our unique coaching community, I have permission from over a dozen people to share their earnings methods, numbers, and stories so that you can get an incredibly deep and well-rounded understanding of what's working right now. And what I mean is, so you can get a framework for how things work, how this whole free traffic method thing works, and also get a sense for what are the pitfalls that people are typically running into that are taking them out, how to avoid those pitfalls, and Also, what are some of the main obstacles they're running into, and how do we summit those obstacles? How do we overcome them? Now, we call these success explanations earnings reports. And I've noticed that people find them incredibly valuable to learn from, and yet they're so hard for people to get a hold of, usually because, well, usually the only time somebody really talks about their earnings and how they did it is when they're trying to sell an info course of their own. Now, it's only because of the unique OMG training, coaching, and community that I'm able to get you access to so many of these priceless, and they are priceless success templates. Now, some of the people who've shared their reports to give you templates for online success, no strings attached, are on this webinar right now. They're volunteering their time. Or they'll see replay clips of it. So I'm going to ask you to thank them via the comment box later on. Now, I spent hours with Reed preparing this webinar for you to help you be a little bit like Neo in the Matrix learning Kung Fu, where he jacks in and learns in mere seconds because so much information is jacked into his brain from so many different angles so quickly. So, as one radio host likes to joke, you might have to listen fast today because I've got a lot to show you in a very short period of time. Now, what I want to do to help you get started is begin with 3 earnings reports just to get us warmed up. And then we're going to take a bit more time to talk about getting visitors free to our websites and web properties like Amazon pages. Obviously, that's pretty popular. YouTube, which we can send to other places and so forth, Facebook and so on. And I've got some recent very good news about ranking on Google and Amazon, and what I'm seeing as the factors that are going to lead people to go from really struggling to success very quickly right here in 2015. So it's going to be a really fun time. If that sounds like a good lineup to you, give me the number 1 in the question box. If that sounds like Reed is really going to deliver on his promises to set you up with something pretty fun here. Now, let me ask you this: as you're answering this, and we're getting a lot of number 1s pour in a few minutes, I'm prepared potentially to show you a website that's made over $1 million in the last 12 months. Give me a number 5 if you would be thrilled to see a free traffic powered website that has made $1 million in the last 12 months, a website that didn't exist, or at least wasn't making any money. Yeah, that's very, 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 very popular. Well, would it be even more exciting to you if it was using that fastest free traffic, or sorry, the fastest of the methods, the fastest and most explosive? Give me a number 5 if it's exciting to you. We got a lot of. All right, good, good. We've got a very engaged audience here. I appreciate that. It's a good feeling. What I want to do, let me see who I've got online with us right now. Oh my, it's a lot of people. All right, great. Joe, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mike.
Uh, this is Joe Marfolia, guys. I want to introduce you to this fellow. He's got an exciting story, and Joe, what one of the things I really want to tap into on this webinar is where the money is being made right now from people that are in the trenches, boots on the ground, making the money right now. What's your let's see, we're at the end of March here, so I guess February was your last full month. Ballpark, what did you make in February, if you don't mind me asking? It's a little bit forward, but this is internet marketing, so people want to know.
It was right around 60,000 for February.
Okay, so $60,000 for February, and can you split that up for me, because I told people, hey, we're going to talk about making money as affiliate, making money with client consulting, and also making money with your own products. For example, if you had your own service stuff, partnerships, Amazon products, and so on. Um, uh, which of those 3 did you use to make money, to make your $60,000?
Well, I have 3 different ways. One is I have clients that I service, that I help them rank their website, help them get seen, help them market their business. I also have sites that I own in different niches, and that I sell leads to local businesses. So these are sites I own. I rank them in different cities, and then I send the calls over to businesses, and they pay me per phone call. And then I also have affiliate products that I sell through ClickBank.
Now those pay per lead sites, that's a little bit like a hybrid. It's almost like half and half affiliate and client. Is that one way of looking at it?
Yeah, because when you have a client, it's a little different because you're working on their website, their YouTube page, and you're ranking their assets. When you do the lead generation, it's your assets that you build, and you sell it to them, sell them the leads. But if they don't want to pay you anymore, or if they don't want the leads anymore, you sell them to somebody else, but you still own that asset.
Okay, so listen, I'm hearing a bunch of different methods that you're making money. I know you're making some money as an affiliate. I know you're making some money with this pay per lead stuff, which is kind of halfway between being an affiliate and client consulting. I know you're making money with client consulting. I believe you also have a partnership or two that you can also make money off of. Is that true?
Um, yeah, I mean, I do have different partnerships. It depends on what, like, we have I have a partnership in Costa Rica with a site I have that was sport fishing, where when I was down there for a while, and we actually partnered with fishing boats down there and tour companies, where I built a site, and the leads that came in, they paid me 25% commission on whatever they brought in. So if they did a week's fishing tour with hotels and car rental that was worth about 10 grand, I made about 2,000 for bringing them that lead.
That's cool. Okay, so listen, if I'm listening on this webinar, that all sounds good, but it sounds like you're making money in all these different ways. But really, you're basically only really making money in one way, which is that you're controlling free traffic. Does that sum things up pretty well?
Yeah, exactly. Say I control the traffic. Like, if I want to enter a niche, I can control that traffic. I can control where those leads go. I just saw an article that said Google, controls what people see and what they do. But, if I want to get in the plumbing niche in San Diego, I'm going to take the first 2, 3 spots in San Diego. So I'm going to control really, who's going to get those leads, because of because we know how to rank on the first page of Google to get that free traffic.
Some pretty powerful stuff. Depending on how this event goes along, I know that there's a lesson that we might be able to have you give. If we think it might be overall beneficial, we might talk to Reed about it, and we might get a sense from the audience. But if you have to run, I understand, Joe. But folks in the audience, would you please thank Joe? And Joe, before you go, let me ask you this. One of the things I think that you're acutely aware of, I think you're beginning to give people an idea of the framework and how things go. We're going to get much clearer framework from Greg and from Cotton in just a minute. But I think that you're somebody who really understands the pitfalls and the obstacles that folks run into, and how that can struggle. Is there a way that you can help me zoom in on some of the things that really got in your way and that really stifled you when you were getting your start online, and how to avoid those obstacles, or sorry, how to avoid the kind of the pitfalls or overcome the obstacles? Like what are some of the things that just were a barrier for you to having success, and how were you able to get to success?
I mean, the hardest thing for me when I started, I mean, there's a few things, but one was I was by myself. So I was kind of out there like the Lone Ranger, trying to figure out how to, one, figure out how to rank on Google or how to market, then getting the clients. But then I never had anyone to bounce things off of. If something came up, I didn't know how to do it. I'd have to kind of sift through a lot of garbage or things to find something that really worked. But it was, for me, when I got together with a community and met people who were already doing what I was doing, it really helped me to propel, to get to the next level.
All right, that sounds awesome. Now, one of the things I want to point out is that you also had an obstacle to overcome that was pretty serious, which is that you really literally hate sales.
Yeah, no, yeah, I don't like selling at all. It was never my forte. When I owned businesses, I usually had people who sold for me. So that was something that was difficult for me, was being able to go out and actually, even though I might have known what to do, it was hard to actually sell it to people.
So how did you overcome like that fear and that frustration with sales?
For me, what it was is I actually um, had someone that helped me out, a mentor that he was in business, and he shared some tips on me on how to relax when I talk to people in groups. And basically, what I do is I'd go into a chamber meeting or a network meeting where I'd go to get clients, and I would simply just ask them questions. So whenever I would, because I don't like small talk, but I found that if I asked people very pointed questions about themselves and about their business, they would open up and they would do all the talking, and I just have to listen. And the end of the conversation, they thought I was a great guy because I was interested in them. I mean, I was, in their business, but it helped me to have further relationships with them where they would refer me for business. I could frame myself as the expert, different things like that. But that little technique really turned my business around.
What were some of those pointed questions?
Mm. Well, like I would just ask them about their business. I'd ask them, if they're a realtor, and I said, well, that sounds exciting. What made you become a realtor? And then they would go into why they became a realtor, and do you like doing that? Oh, then they would go into this and that. Oh man, what's the funniest experience you ever had? Taking someone to see a house, and it's like they would just start talking. Then if they would say something, I would pick off what they would say, and then I would ask more questions. And then when it would get to a point where one of two things would happen: either they would ask me what I do, um, or they wouldn't. If they didn't ask me what I would do, what I do, then I would just end the conversation. I figure, well, they're not someone who'll be interested in me or referring me, so then I wouldn't, then I go on and talk to someone else. If they did ask me, I would just give them a simple reply like, I help businesses who want to grow, get more leads, or something really short, and they'd be like, well, how do you do that? And I said, well, I don't have time to talk about it now, but maybe we can set up a meeting later, and I can find out more about your business, and you can find about mine, and we can work on how we can refer each other. And and that's how I set up these what they call strategic partners, where I wouldn't meet to sell them, but I would I would meet to find out about their business, they'd find about mine, and I would get referrals that way.
Yeah, and this has been a very very powerful method for you. You made a lot of money last month, but you've made as much as $100,000 in a single month.
Yeah, yeah, and that was yeah. It was as soon as it was like when I turned a. It was actually when I turned a corner. Um, you know, it, when I turned a corner and I finally got my feet from under me. It was the first probably the first 60 days I made 100 grand, and I haven't looked back since. So
I want to point something out to folks. It's not just that you walked in off the street with no leverage and started having conversations with people, and you said just the right thing, and boom, $100,000 landed in your pocket, or $60,000 last month, or whatever it was. Um, the point is, you had the leverage and the power, like you said, of free traffic.
yeah, yeah. I knew how to get. I had what people wanted, um, and I just had to learn how to present it to them, so the right way, so they knew so they knew what I can do. But once you know how to control the traffic, and you have the free traffic, man, there's nothing you can't do. It's like, say, you can take on local clients, you can do pay per lead, you can do affiliate, you can do whatever, because you can generate traffic.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we've got Joe. I want to thank you, folks in the audience. Please thank Joe for donating his valuable time to come on here and share with us. Gave us a number of tips, pointed us past some pitfalls, and really just sharing, again, let's face it, if you're at Starbucks and a guy started talking to you and he's making 60 grand a month, you know, you'd probably be all ears, wouldn't you? And just really be grateful and thankful to him for pointing out like actual specific details, actionable stuff that you could do that make you a lot of money. So that's really a sweet thing. Joe, thanks so much for jumping on with us. If you have to jump off, let me know, text me or something like that, just so I know, so I can make sure everyone can say goodbye to you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mike.
You're welcome. Now we've got another extremely special guest, actually a couple of them that I want to introduce you guys to. What I'm going to do is something a little unusual. We're going to have to circle back around. We've got Cotton Grammer and Greg Morrison on the line, and you're going to get to meet both of them. They're guys that have changed a lot of other people's lives. They're shockingly successful. And not that Joe's not. Joe's obviously overwhelmingly successful as well. What I'm going to do is ask Cotton to briefly introduce himself and where he's at with things. And I'm actually going to ask Cotton to quickly introduce Greg, because Greg can only be on. Greg's son got hurt last night, and Greg can only be on this webinar just for a few more minutes. And I definitely wanted to be able to bring Greg online to be able to introduce a framework for free traffic. So Cotton, could you real briefly introduce yourself and then introduce Greg?
Sure. My name is Cotton Grammer. I'm with OMGmachines.com. And I'm just going to go ahead and just introduce Greg, and then we can circle back around to me. Greg is someone that literally is one of the few people that is responsible for my success, and you'll find out a little bit later how much success I've really had. Greg's one of those people that is absolutely giving. He was consistently, when he first started in like OMG, just answer question after answer question. And Greg is one of these SEO experts that consistently research and development day in and day out. What does that mean? That means that every time that Google comes out with an algorithm, Greg Morrison knows exactly what goes on. And in many cases, I've found out that he knows about this faster than anybody. And that's what's absolutely amazing. So give me a number 1 in the chat box if you would love to know every time that Google made an update and you knew exactly what to do, how to combat it. Exactly. Right. And that's what's incredible. And so what Greg does is Greg is kind of like out in front doing all this sort of stuff. I've never met anyone that literally has a pulse on what Google's doing any more than Greg. And Greg has touched hundreds of lives. He's produced at least 300 or 400 income reports of people making over $10,000 a month. I'm one of those people that he's helped. And Greg, if you want to know anything about SEO, this is what I consider literally one of the best SEOs on this planet. And I'm honored to introduce you to Greg Morrison. Greg, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, thanks, Cotton. I appreciate that.
Sure.
What's going on, guys?
Not a lot. I guess Mike had me introduce you, and then it's right back to Mike now.
Hey, Greg, this audience right here, this is a standing ovation from OMG Live 2013. I can't, I just can't resist. I just got to show people what happened in 2014. So this is a sold out audience at OMG Live Nashville 2014. These are folks that paid $2,000 to be at this event. A little less than 200 people, maybe like 175 people. This is what happened before Greg spoke at OMG Live Nashville 2014, before he spoke. So I'm now introducing, he hasn't spoken yet. I'm now introducing, ladies and gentlemen, Greg Morrison, the guy who I call. like to point out that the guy sitting in the left-hand corner who is not standing up, the one guy in the room not standing up, is Grant, and he really likes Greg. He just is blind, and so it's a little bit difficult for him to take his feet. I think he would want you to know that. Greg, this is not Greg's favorite video in the world, but I, I really can't help but share it because it really helps contextualize what a difference Greg has made in people's lives, what a difference Greg has made in my life. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Greg Morrison, the guy who I call the one-man gang. Greg, would you briefly give people a little bit about your backstory and a brief framework on how SEO works? I know we have a very short window of opportunity with you here before you have to go watch The Little Man.
Yeah, sure. So, a few years back, I got started with internet marketing, and I'd made a site on MySpace, and I sold it for a couple $100,000. And back then I thought it was so much money. I was younger, thought I was on easy street, and pretty quickly I went through that money. I was young and just I didn't know what I was doing. So I eventually had to go back to a day job, and I was waking up at 3 in the morning. I'd go to a casino and deal cards. Then I found out that I was going to be a dad, and that's when that kind of lit a fire under me, and I wanted a better life for my son. That was around, I guess, the end of 2010, beginning of 2011. The internet changes fast, and what had worked before for me wasn't quite what was working now. But at the same time, a lot of people think their previous knowledge isn't helpful, but it really is, and it did help me a little bit there. So I was lucky enough to purchase a basic SEO program from Mike and David Mills at the time, and it gave me what I needed to make things work, and it worked pretty fast for me. I'd work until noon every day, and then I'd go home and basically tune out the noise and just work until I fell asleep. My friends would call me. I'm sure people experience this. They say, come out and have a beer. What are you doing staying in every night? Just telling me I was crazy and I was missing out on everything. But, I just kind of stayed focused. And pretty quickly I had some sites ranked. And in some cases it took me just days. My site started getting a little money, then a lot. And I kept going and going. In my first 9 months, I hit the $1 million mark. And if you have a reason to do that, it's a lot more possible to do it. If you just keep your focus on what you're trying to do, I think it'll be a lot better for you. You just got to keep that end goal in focus and don't lose sight, because a lot of people, they start and then, they think, oh, it'd be so great to make all this money online. And then they just lose that vision after a few days. So you got to keep that vision with you. But I got great news for you, because while things change in Google with what works to get sites ranked number one, two things happen. One thing that hasn't changed is that Google is a business and they're in it for the money, and because of that, you can always make money with free traffic from Google, or what people call SEO. The other thing that hasn't changed is that the more different sites and Web 2.0 properties like Amazon, YouTube, Facebook, stuff like that you have ranking, the easier it is to see what Google really wants. That's kind of the end that I do. I track all of this stuff and I figure out what's working. So I want to tell you, how I've made that first $1 million, because it's helped, a lot of people in our Project Breakthrough Club make a lot of money. Like I said, Google is a business. They make $5 billion a month, a lot of money. So even though people think Google changes fast, they don't. You kind of think about it like a business like McDonald's. McDonald's, they're huge, they make a ton of money. They might put some new items on the menu and test things out, like maybe a new chicken sandwich or a new coffee or something like that. But they aren't just going to throw out their current menu overnight. They're not going to get rid of the Big Mac, fries, and the Coke, just overnight. They're going to make very small changes because what they're doing is already working well. So back in 2011, ranking websites number one was more a matter of throwing the kitchen sink at it, which means just sending tons of links. And the more sites you had linking to your website, the better. From the first day, the number one thing that Google has looked at in deciding whether your site should be number one or not is what links are coming to your site. So, for example, if you have a website like Wikipedia.com, and there's a link from a Wikipedia entry that goes to your site, that counts as a vote of confidence in your website. All right, so links count as votes, so to speak. Anyone that tells you links don't matter in SEO have no idea what they're talking about. Links are still the biggest, by far, contributing factor to getting your website ranked. And, of course, stuff like what anchor text you use and all that, but I'm sure that will be covered a little later on. So if you have lots of links, and especially a lot of good links from sites, that gets you in the game for ranking number one with Google. There are a lot of things that matter, but the links to your site are definitely by far number one, as I just said. Think of it kind of like electricity, lighting up a big sign in Vegas. If you want a huge sign that you can see from outer space, then you need lots and lots of juice. And it doesn't mean lots of link these days, but it does mean quality links. And that can be more juice than a lot of lower quality links, all right? So, and that, the more that you have, the more juice to your site you have, the more electricity, and so on and so on. So back in 2011, I could hire an outsourcer from India or the Philippines to send thousands or hundreds of thousands or even millions, really, of stuff like blog comments, profile links, and other types of low quality links to your website, and you basically rank for any keywords you wanted back then. But of course, things have changed, right? But slowly, and they didn't change overnight, but it did change. And I have near 1,000 websites, so I can detect a lot of small fine-tuned changes that Google makes. I know what to look at. So, week after week, month after month, I'm tracking these changes that they're making. And you want to remember that Google is a business, and if they don't return good results when people search, they're going to go out of business, like a lot of the early search engines did. Something Google likes to do is play games with people trying to do SEO. They put out press releases. They have Matt Cutts, I'm sure people have heard of, who tells people basically what Google wants them to think is going on. But a lot of it's nonsense, and most of what they put out, in my opinion, is meant to misdirect and confuse people, and I ignore all of it. I learned really early in life that you have to pay more attention to what somebody does than what they say they're going to do. In that case, it's what's my data telling me, not what's Google telling me. It's what am I seeing from my data. So what I did was I just, I watched my websites and I see what little changes Google makes, little changes here and there, and pretty quickly I spied the pattern. I started working with members of our club, especially Jimmy Kelly, Sue Bell, Russell Wright, Cotton, Fletch, Mike, and we smashed the code together. Excuse me. Anyway, what started happening, and it's happened more and more over the last 4 years, is that Google's making it harder and harder for businesses like Yellow Pages and big ad agencies to rank. That's because they're too inflexible, basically, because they're big businesses, and they can't keep up with changes from Penguin and Panda and all the updates because they just have too much red tape. But it's also too hard for small, flexible ad agencies and super affiliates to rank, because these days you need much more data to really know what's going on with these updates. So if you're too small, you don't have enough power. If you're too big, you might be able to know what you need to do, but it doesn't matter because you can't implement things fast enough because all the red tape of a big business has. It kind of is like a catch-22. But we've got a system for having a system that threads the needle, in my opinion, and it all boils down to three things. I mentioned that links are the biggest thing, and along with that, it's anchor text, URLs, and trust. All right. And just remember this: one word or even one single keystroke is constantly the difference between success and failure. And we actually show that all the time live on our webinars. So that's how we'll look at some rankings that are pretty shocked right now in Google. Mike, which rankings did you want to take a look at?
I don't know. We can show. I'm trying to figure out how you are on time. You're probably pretty good. Did folks want to see that $1 million site? Give me number one if you'd like to see a $1 million site. If it's really, really exciting for you. Otherwise, we can just show you something that's a little bit more, not as big. So give us one if you want to see a $1 million site. Give me. Actually, I'll show you a couple $1 million sites, very possibly here. All right, yeah, $1 million site it is. Let me just pull up Google. Let me pull up an incognito window here real quick. How about in the audience? What do you think? What's the biggest city in the world population-wise? Biggest city in the world population-wise? Real quick, we're tight on time because we got Greg's clock ticking here. Any guesses? Someone's gonna guess New York. Yep, David got it. Got it in one. Tokyo. Okay. So
Some smart people here. I didn't know that before.
Yeah. So SEO stands for search engine optimization. This is if people are looking for the ability to get their websites ranked. And this website here is cottongrammar.com, and this video right here also Cotton Grammar. So Bing, number one and number four, cottongrammar.com. Now, I'm in Chicago right now as we speak. So let's look at that city. All right, so we've got the paid listings up here. These would cost on average, I think around $60 per click, but Cotton's getting them for free right here. And actually Cotton has another site on page one. But anyways, all right, so this is Cotton right here. That's a pretty good example. We could do like even a smaller example like water damage, Franklin, Tennessee. Then this is ServPro, Williamson County. This is one of our clients actually just sold this ServPro for this, and this is also them. they actually sold this for. We've actually got them. This is really weird, Greg. We got that Spring Hill location ranked as well. She actually sold this for $1 million as well. So that's actually $2 million websites that you got to see. Those are local sites. This one's pretty crazy from an affiliate standpoint. If you type in cheap car insurance right here, cheapcarinsurance.net, it's another example from Jimmy Kelly. So those are a few examples. We could also do vitamin C serum, and this Amazon listing right here is another example. You can rank in Amazon and your Amazon page on Google. We can get into some of the implications of that, but those are some pretty shocking rankings. Give me the number one if you find all that shocking and pretty awesome to see on a webinar. I personally, I think it's pretty shocking. Somebody typed in Hong Kong. Yes, that's a little late to the party, but the answer was Tokyo. Okay, so people pretty shocked and amazed, feeling pretty good about things. Greg, please carry us forward.
Nice. So yeah. So the one Mike showed with the Serve Pro, we actually ranked that in about 20 minutes. So because Kathy's rankings were gone before I stepped in, no rankings, no business, no $1 million, simple math. But it's not just 20 minutes; it's 20 minutes of work to implement the ranking. So that's pretty easy, and I can show anybody how to do that. But me and the rest of the team, we worked for hours and spent thousands of testing to figure out what I needed to do in that 20 minutes. So remember before how I said you needed power and you need flexibility. Think about it if you're driving from one place to another. Even if you're going somewhere new that's just a few miles away, if you don't have a map or a GPS, then it's really easy to get lost and waste a lot of time. But if you have a GPS, it's easy. Even if you get a little off course, you just quickly adjust, and it's no big deal. Where if you're flying blind, it can be a disaster. Now, following the GPS is pretty easy. It's a shortcut because the GPS company has a system for having a system for telling you where to go. And it might take millions for them to make that design or design that system. And it takes a genius to figure out the GPS system or make that GPS, but using a GPS doesn't take a genius. It just takes somebody who's checked in, who's willing to follow instructions where needed, and to drive their car. With OMG, we've done the work of making a GPS that works month in, month out, year in, year out for SEO. It's not push button millions, but there's no business that can't be taught A to Z step by step. There can be step-by-step processes outlined as part of guiding you, and with OMG it might take you a couple months, like it took Cotton to figure out how to make things work, or you might get it right away. But from there, as long as you're willing to put your heart into things and drive your business, like hundreds of other OMGers who have been giving big money earnings reports to us, then the sky's the limit. All right. So Mike, wherever you want to take it from there, I just want to make sure people know that as long as you really have your heart in this, you're willing to step it, because before I mentioned there's a lot of people they get that vision of, yes, I want to make a lot of money online, and then the vision slowly fades. People are trying to get them to go out, like I said with me, their friends are calling them up, come out. You feel like you're missing out, you lose that vision, and that's where a lot of people go wrong. But if you just come in and follow what we got and keep that vision, people have a very, very, very good chance of succeeding with us, and we've shown that. So
let me ask you something. In the audience, let me ask you this. How many people would find it valuable to see, and this is really one of the things that led me to the whole OMG system, is really just wanting to see exactly where the money's being made. So, like, I've got a computer right in front of me, and I just wanted to see somebody who is making money, like what keystrokes, what keys did they hit on their computer? Where would they move the mouse? Where would they click? Like, what were the exact steps over their shoulder that they took to making a successful money-getting website? I just wanted to know that. That was so important to me, including some of the thought process behind it and the strategy and so forth. But really overwhelmingly, I wanted to know how to get free visitors to my website, every step by step. Give me the number one, if it would be enormously exciting for you to see an over-the-shoulder step-by-step demonstration, not just a ranking a website number one, but dominating page one of Google. Give me the number one if that's an exciting idea to you. I imagine, like, if anybody here has a pulse, that would be exciting to you. But if not, you can give me And Alice is like, sure, you kidding? So let me show you an example. This is our 2015 over the shoulder series. One of them. We actually have Amazon over the shoulder series as well. This is something that Greg started doing that really kind of broke the mold, and it was really, really cool to see. It just kind of changed things for so many people. I've heard so many people report back to me that watching Greg over the shoulder, step by step, nothing left out. This is something that Greg just started right around 2 months ago. We did iowacityseo.net, and it's number one. The video's number two. Yelp is number three. Facebook's number four. Mantra's number five. And you can see that this got started January 28th, 2015. So right around 2 months ago. And Greg and Joe did this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got poor iowacityseo.com. Says, I have 7 years of experience with professional white hat SEO. Well, good for you, buddy. But you're number 7 now, or number 9, number 8. I don't know. Not to be mean to him. Didn't mean to be mean. But anyway, so we're number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And here's the crazy thing. On a webinar, on a live webinar, not this last Friday, but the week before, Greg and Joe joined forces. They made probably like 12 keystrokes of a difference. Like they made some changes to these listings. It might have been 12 or 15 keystrokes. I don't know, something like that. And we actually out of nowhere started ranking for Iowa SEO as well, to where it's number 1 in the map listings, number 2 here so this is the map listing. So in the A listing for the map, number 2. So number 1 is this MikeDemuth.com. Then number 2 in the maps, or number 2 in the video. Then we've got, let's see, here's iowacityseo.net. So it's number like 6 or so. And then the Facebook is number 9, and the Yelp is number 10. So some pretty good fireworks. Greg, we've only got you for about 3 more minutes before you got to go. How? Like, why can you just make just a very small number of keystrokes difference and make such a radical change? I mean, this video jumped all the way up to page 1, the next day after you made those changes. How can that be possible in today's day and age, and yet still so sustainable?
Yeah, so basically, when we started this site, we were targeting Iowa City SEO. We should have targeted Iowa SEO from the beginning. If we were, we'd be same rankings for Iowa City SEO. But going into it, I saw that we were ranking decently for Iowa SEO, and then I thought, why didn't we go after that as well? And it'd be pretty easy. It's very similar terms, so it'd be very easy to do. So we were like page 2 for most of these properties you see on page 1 right now for Iowa SEO, page 2 to page 3. The thing is, we didn't remember when I initially talked. I said there's some big identifying factors that Google uses. It's links, trust, anchor text, URLs. So number 1 is anchor text. That's the biggest identifying factor for Google for like relevance and what to rank. Next would be URLs. Okay, first domain name, and then an inner URL would be the second most powerful to that, but URLs are second. And then kind of third and fourth are like our titles, and then stuff like descriptions and what you have on your site. Okay, but the most powerful is definitely anchor text. Second is domain name, and then of course inner URL in general, number 2. Third is title, and then fourth is like description and what's on your page. Okay, so when we did Iowa City SEO, of course all of the properties we did had Iowa City SEO in them. Now, when you have that, it gives us a lot of credit for Iowa City SEO, and that's why we're ranking so well for that number 1 through number 5. But what we didn't do is we didn't think to go through after Iowa SEO from the beginning. Now, having Iowa City SEO does give you credit for Iowa SEO, but you have a word in the middle of that, so you're not getting as much credit as you could. Google's going to give you credit for it, but not as much as credit as you would if you have Iowa SEO back to back by itself without city in the middle. So all we did is we went to the YouTube video and just added Iowa SEO to the title as well. Okay, so not only did that move up the video to page number 1, but it also helps make our website more relevant for Iowa SEO because the video is linking to the website. So when Google sees Iowa SEO in the title, that creates more relevance for Iowa City SEO for Iowa SEO. And we did the same thing for the Facebook. We didn't change the title, but we did put it in the description. Even that little change there, the fourth most powerful thing, that makes our Facebook page more relevant, which moved it up from page 2 to page 1, and it also makes our website more relevant. That it helps our move up our website for that because we have Iowa SEO exactly in the description. Same thing for the Yelp, and Joe just changed that today, I believe, so it might not be showing yet in the description, but it is on there now. But again, that will also move up that Yelp and then also move up our website. And again, if we did this from the beginning, we had that on all of our properties, we'd probably be higher up and it would have been kicked in more by now. But if we didn't get to where we wanted to be, what we would do is start sending links either to our website or to those properties linking to our website with anchor text Iowa SEO in them. In the Over the Shoulder series, I show exactly what anchor text we use to send to those properties and what links we sent. But all the links were either, like branded type links, like a URL, or they said Iowa City SEO, okay? If I did Iowa SEO in some of those links, it would have created more relevance, not just for the property I was linking to, but also for our website because those properties link to our website.
All right, great.
So is everyone kind of following along there? Hopefully I didn't lose anyone with that.
And Greg, these final question, these general premises are the same things, and we showed what fine-tuning differences need to be changed, whether you're doing local SEO, affiliate SEO, or stuff like Amazon, e-commerce, all that kind of stuff. Ultimately, the same principles apply.
Yeah, a lot of people just make SEO too confusing. You got to understand it's a robot. It's an algorithm. It's not something that can think. It's something that they have to create an algorithm for. Like they have to pull from stuff like anchor text and URLs and titles. And the reason anchor text is the most powerful one is because that's the hardest one to manipulate, And then of course URLs would be next, domains, and then titles and description are pretty easy to do. But a lot of people don't even know that doing simple things like that just creates that relevance and helps you rank better, like for a second tier property.
I began this whole thing by showing that video of Greg getting a standing ovation in front of a sold out audience, people that have flown in from all over the world, paid $2,000 for their tickets, no comp tickets. And give me the number 7 right now if you totally get it, why they all did that. If you're like, wow, Greg is amazing. Give me the number 7. I think I know I'll actually type in the number 7 because I think he is absolutely amazing. All right. Thank you guys very, very, very much for thanking Greg. I know that was kind of fast and furious, but we only had Greg for a few minutes, and I really wanted to give you a framework for how it is that SEO works, and have Greg zoom on a couple details. Greg, thanks so much, and hopefully Bryson will feel a little bit better.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. It's a bunch more thank yous are coming in now. All right, guys, thank you very much. Really, really appreciate it. What I want to do now, we're almost an hour into things. I'm not exactly sure how much longer we're going to go, but let me ask you, give me the number 8 if you're already really, really happy that Reed lined this event up for you. If you're already really, really happy that Reed, you kind of quickly thank Reed in just one keystroke. Or as Elizabeth did it in several 8s, she gave Reed 8 8s. Okay, good. Very, very, very happy group, Reed. So I definitely think that you deserve a lot of kudos for bringing this all together. So what I want to do is introduce you to. Let me see what we got to work with here. I want to introduce you to another individual who we haven't met yet. I haven't got to talk to this guy in a few days, so I kind of miss him, kind of miss his voice because he is awesome. He's become one of my best friends. Yet another person who has really just helped inspire. It's helped inspire me. Has helped inspire so many individuals inside of our community. A little bit of a jack of all trades and master of a shocking number of them. Fletch, are you there? Let me find out if I can get Fletch live. For all that introduction, everyone's gonna be like, "No, where's Fletch?" Let's find out. All right, we may have to wait a few minutes on Fletch. May not be able to bring him live just this moment. So we'll circle back around. That's okay, because I have uh, saved Cotton. So you got to meet Cotton just a few minutes ago, and you got to see contextually Cotton's website, Cotton's $1 million website. Cotton, we're right here at the end of March 2015, the last day of March 2015. How much money were you making? How much money did you make March of 2014? So like 1 year ago today.
1 year ago today, I was actually making $1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month. Congratulations. That was your first online marketing, SEO thousand. So that
Sure, sure. Yeah, that was the first thousand I ever made, through any sort of internet marketing or anything to do with making money online. So
can you tell people where you're at, what the progression was when you joined us? You joined us January 15th, 2014. So about a year and 3 months ago today. It's
mhm.
obviously a fateful day for OMG. Can you take us inside of where you were, what was going on, and what led you to where you are today?
Sure. What I've been doing is, as many people do, I've been bouncing from program to program, trying to find a way to where I could make money online or sustain enough money to where I didn't have to go back to my day job. And from bouncing to supposed guru to guru and spending thousands of dollars, I was literally down to, not very much money left. And I came across a webinar very, very, very similar to this one. And just, something felt right about it. All the other gurus and everything else, they never had anything to back up their claims. Always a lot of big huff puff, but there wasn't any income reports. There wasn't any sustainable proof that they were successful. And if you're spending thousands of dollars, I started to realize that. But when I ran across this community, not only did they have proof, but you could tell that they had like a warmness in their heart, that they really cared about people and how well that they were doing. So I decided to join, and very reluctantly. And what I decided to do is take this course more serious than anything that I'd ever taken in my life. I literally secluded myself up in my room. I decided I wouldn't go out. I decided that I wouldn't spend any money because I really didn't have that much left. I decided this was do or die, or I didn't know where I was going to be. So I built a foundation of information, and one of the worst parts about it is I think we've all been there in internet marketing to where we make a decision that we're going to do it, and you start telling friends or family about it. So my father, who is a very successful businessman, he's now retired. I remember telling him exactly what I was doing. That I'm going to make my money online. He said, "You're going to do what? You actually think you're going to make your career by making money off the internet?" I said, "Exactly." So January went by, and my dad would check in with me. So, how much money you made so far, God? And I would take a big swallow when I would just have to say, I'm still trying to dig in the course and everything. I'm still trying to get a good foundation now, but it's like coming. Oh, all right, okay. Well, February comes by. So February comes. There's my dad again, waiting. So, Cotton, how are things going? How much money are you making? Well, nothing yet, but I almost had a deal last week. Oh, you almost did. Oh, all right. Okay. Cotton, when do you think get a real job? And literally, it just kind of, broke my heart a little bit. That you don't sometimes have the support of your friends or family when you get in this endeavor, and it can be a lonely process getting there. So there was my dad again in March, and waiting on me, and and I was so happy, that I got my first deal, or made my first $1,000, making money online through search engine optimization. So when my dad asked me, I was waiting. I couldn't wait to tell him. And so he said, "So you making any?" Yes, as a matter of fact, I just closed a deal and I made $1,000. He goes, $1,000. So all the money that you spent on the course and all the 90 days up to right now, you've only made $1,000, and you sound like you want me to be happy for you. He goes, Cotton, when are you going to get a real job? So what I did is I decided to even dig down even deeper and just not look back and just burn all bridges and move forward. The next month I went from 1,000 to 14,000. The month after that I went from 14,000 to 28, from 28 to 56, from 56 to 96, from 96 to 150, from 150 to 190, from 190 to 225 a month, to where now I'm at $330,000 a month, and probably have one of the most successful, singly owned, singly run search engine optimization agencies in the world. There are other agencies bigger, but as Mike just brought up here in Chicago, there are agencies in Chicago that have as many as 60 people in there, and they can't get past me. And that's all from what I've learned from Greg. That's all what I've learned from everything inside of OMG Machines. And all of these businesses where Mike's scrolling up and down right now, there's probably an accumulated 300 or 400 employees in all these agencies. I've looked at them. And there's just me. And that's how powerful everything that's taught inside of OMG. They gave me, you want to talk about when Greg talked about that you have to have juice? They've given me enough juice and enough confidence to where I'm able to take out multi-million-dollar agencies with the knowledge that they provided me. So with that, I didn't know anything. And what I want to make very clear to you, I didn't even know what a WordPress site was. I didn't even know how to log into a WordPress site. I didn't know how to build a WordPress site. And everything that I found was inside the course. And what really helped me along is their Facebook community. It's a community that I've never seen before, of everyone coming together and helping one another in a way that I've never seen. I mean, people that post questions and there's answers a couple minutes later. Everyone pushing forward in the same direction. How great would it to be with every course that you got into that you had over close to 2,000 people doing the same thing that you are, where you get to find out all the pitfalls, all the mistakes, so you don't have to make them to cut your learning curve. How would you like to be in a community where someone actually didn't leave you when you actually bought an internet course, and they stayed with you to hold your hand across the way, answer your questions, not just for a couple months, but for as much as 6 months? This is why I feel that I'm so successful, because I was lucky enough to be brought in this community, and that community is OMG Machines. So that's my story, Mike. If you have anything to add, be more
No,
than
I
happy
gotta
to.
tell you, I am reading the question box and people are standing up and cheering. I want to give people a framework behind how you're making your money, because we've talked about and given examples of affiliate marketing, and we've got lots of those. We've talked about examples of Amazon, and we've got several members making 6 figures per month on Amazon. But you're actually making money, and maybe you're kind of cheating. You're kind of making money the fastest way,
Right.
and that fastest way is to get other people to stroke off a check before you've
Mhm.
done anything. Now, you did take your time to get started with that because you were building a core foundation. And right now, we're in early access in OMG for 2015, and we call this March, April, May Mastery. We're really actually kind of as a tribute to Cotton's success in the last year, which is, I mean, it's just nuts. You just don't get this anywhere else. But as a tribute to Cotton's success and his focus, I mean, his courage to make OMG his home base and to really dial in on what we're doing to pay it forward to others and help them have success. and just really get down what we're doing, and just build that strong foundation. It's what Cotton did, and it changed his life, and that example has changed so many other people's lives. But regardless, the reality is, once you're ready to start pulling the trigger on SEO client consulting, it can lead to immediate paychecks. We're talking in the range of, can be $5,000 a month very quickly. We've seen $10,000 a month very quickly. We've seen the way you did things was you built a very solid foundation for this, like, really nuclear growth. I mean, you just don't run into people. A doctor will go to school for 11 years, and work his butt off for that 11 years, go $300,000 into debt to make on average around $200,000 per year. At this point, you're getting dang near close to making twice that much every month, which is just, it's a tribute to you, and it's also a tribute to the power of free traffic. Now, one of the things that Joe said earlier that I think, like, weighs in on this is that he would ask people questions. Oh, you're a dentist. Why did you become a dentist? What's the craziest thing that's ever happened in your office? Whatever. Then when they ask him, well, what do you do? Like, ultimately, that's the question, and people are just fascinated with it. There's not really any other career I can think of. I mean, maybe if you're like a rock star or a movie star, some sort of a celebrity, but you're almost a business celebrity by doing what you do. What's the reaction that people have when they ask you what you do? Like, what kind of reaction do people have to you?
That's a very interesting question, because what I've always found is wherever I go, I always have the most exciting job. People ask questions. You can ask someone, so what are you? Oh, I'm a doctor. The next question, there'll only be one more question after that, generally. What kind of doctor? And when you say, what do you do? I go, I rank sites on Google. Really? Like, you work for Google? Like, what do you mean? And I explain them. And I'm going to help you guys answer. Well, what I do is if you drive through your hometown or any downtown, you can see there's doctors, lawyers, dentists, fencers, bakers. There's every type of business there. All of these businesses have to be found somehow, and especially when you need it, because let's face it, when you need a home service, when you need something, you don't need them until a problem happens or until you just need them. What do? You open up a phone book now? Absolutely not. You pick up your cell phone, you pick up your iPads, you go to your desktop computers, your laptops, and you search Google. And that might be, if you're in Chicago, you might search Chicago plumber or Chicago air condition repair or Chicago dentist. And you're generally not going to get past the first page. So there's some fantastic people that provide amazing services that just don't understand search engine optimization. They're experts at dentistry, not web design, not search engine optimization, and they're on page 3. By them being on page 3 and them not being in the top 3 positions, they're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Once you think about all the organic traffic that they're losing, that every time a family wants to find a new dentist for their 3-year-old, or that they just want to change dentists, think about all the business they're going to get when he's number 1 versus he's unknown on page 3. Can literally triple, it can send in 1,000 times the amount of revenue that he had before. So when you show a business owner that, they're very, very interested, and it's very easy to sell them search engine optimization. The reason why I love client consulting so much and why I do it exclusively is I get paid to work on their site before anything happens. So they write me out a check for $5,000 for the month to work on their site. I'm all about multiple streams of income, and I think affiliates is wonderful, and I think Amazon and your own products is wonderful. But if you think about it, this is the quickest way that you can get out and get money. If you start and ask someone if they would like to be on page 1 of Google, and if you can show some viable proof that you can get it there, they'll write you a check immediately. You don't have to wait months to get a site ranked to prove that you can or do anything, and that's how I was able to get my sites very, very, very quickly and really ramp up and make a lot of money. So That's like how I make my money, and it's, in my opinion, it's the easiest and the fastest way to make money if you ever get a chance to try search engine optimization in any form. But whether you're the product route or the affiliate route, I've never seen a more comprehensive course that's inside of OMG Machines that just kind of shares all that. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Cotton. And the question box is really just filling up with folks that are stirred and inspired by your story, and also just very appreciative of your training. So if you get a moment, please thank Cotton. It's just literally so valuable. I want to before we start drawing things to a close, I want to see if we can get Fletch live. I want to find out if he's if we can get him live, and there may be some kind of a technical difficulty situation. Yeah. Oh, there he is. Fletch.
Hey, Mike, you there, buddy? How's it going, dude?
I'm here, man. I'm here.
Cool.
You know,
Yeah. I got a text from Joe a second ago, said you were trying to get me on. I had to step in the other room, so I missed that, but sorry about that.
Did you have some mayhem? Did you have to regulate?
Well, yeah, the kids, having 3 kids, there's always something going on. So, yeah, it just depends on whether an extra hand is needed for a dirty diaper or something along those lines. That's typically what draws me away, but
Well,
it's all good.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you jumping on. We began this webinar. We're getting into where the money's being made, going through a bit of a framework for how the money's being made. Obviously, primarily free traffic, and actually fully on free traffic in Google and in Amazon, and just some of the potholes and dead ends that people are running into. How do we kind of avoid some of those obstacles to overcome? So the primary thing we've been focused on. As we begin to draw things to a close here, you've been with us for just over 2 years, first as a student and now ultimately as a mentor. And in fact, I think that even Cotton could tell anybody that you were one of the people who really blazed the trail for him. Although now I think he's turned around and returned the favor, and that's kind of part of the OMG culture, that pay it forward culture. Where were you at a couple of years back, and how are you making your money, and how's it going for you?
Yeah, so a couple years ago, it was probably, I don't know, 20, 25, 26 months, something like that. I had a construction company in Phoenix, which is where I still live, that, I didn't really like the work. I'd started the company for, a reason that I believed in, but we really just weren't doing that great. We didn't have any customers, and the customers we did have were not necessarily the ones I really wanted, and I really kind of found myself at a place, getting close to 40, where, I found a wife, she had a daughter, we had, another child on the way soon, that I really kind of just needed to up my game. And I jumped online and started looking for ways to really improve kind of, the ways customers found my business and the services that we offered in construction. So we were not doing well at all. Looking at just income-wise, we were making less than $20,000 a year after our expenses and things like that. So we didn't have really any extra money. When I first kind of found OMG, I wound up actually having to sell a vehicle to afford to get kind of the training that I needed to get to be able to put more money in my bank, put my business at the top of the search engines and things like that. But one of the things that I believe in life is that it seems like you kind of coast around for a while and don't really bump into the right opportunities or kind of the right solution to change a lot of your problems all in one fell swoop. And OMG really kind of represented that to me, not only in putting more customers in my business, but very quickly after that I kind of realized that this skill and this value we can bring to a business is way way bigger than what I just wanted to be able to provide my own company. So, within a month or so of getting my own company ranked, I started just kind of approaching my subcontractors and saying, I can't handle all these phone calls that are coming in. Maybe I can just sell them directly to you. Essentially selling phone calls that were coming in for specific services that I ranked for. And that was really kind of when my, understanding of where I was moving with this whole thing changed. So, really over the next year and a half, the bulk of what I did was build my own websites that would rank for things that people needed, fixed. A solar water heater, insulation, air conditioning repair, things that had a significant cost, and that the local businesses, just like Cotton said, there were people who were good at doing their business but not necessarily good at building websites or ranking on Google. I kind of provided that for them in a roundabout way. So the nice thing about kind of what I did that first year and a half was that I was really working on my own properties. So, Cotton, I fully agree. It's the quickest way to get money in your pocket. Doing client consulting, you don't have to take your own risk. You get money up front, all that kind of thing. I took a little bit different path, but what I did get out of it was that I own all my websites. So I now have kind of an asset that just pays me month in and month out based on the number of phone calls that I can generate. And then if I ever wanted to sell, I could package those up, and sell them on a business broker or website broker website. So, coming full circle, kind of, a couple years later, Mike mentioned I get to work, kind of within OMG as a mentor and kind of, coach and teacher. And then, I still sell leads. I've got a business that's going strong there. And now I've recently, after a live event last year, listening to Cotton and kind of putting together my own agency to do search engine optimization, as well as pretty much everything across the board for marketing. So I kind of set up a marketing company like I set up my old general contracting company. So I can control the lead, I can get the business, and I just find somebody that does good work for me to do the fulfillment. So I don't have to have a huge company, but I get to take a lot of jobs and build my kind of value that way. So definitely a lot better way to go through life. Yeah.
In that way, you've actually come full circle, and you're back to having your own business.
That's right. Yep. And what's interesting is I actually have been able to kind of revisit the construction company I have and turn that back around, kind of rebranded it, repurposed it, so that we are now a national company. So
this is totally news to me. I think that's Crusher. I love it.
Yeah, we're doing some pretty cool stuff with that. So this year it's really getting traction. We'll be offering kind of licensee, opportunities to local contractors that we vet out, and we'll have kind of some, a step toward franchising, whether we decide to go that route or not. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
So the year before you joined us, just to give people an idea of the numbers, it was ballpark 20,000.
Yeah.
How did 2014 treat you?
That was good. We closed out just under 600,000 for the year, and then currently we're doing somewhere between 60 and 70,000. Since I opened up this agency thing, we've sold quite a bit of business really, really fast. Really without even ranking, just kind of saying, yeah, we'll do that. And, we've opened up about almost $30,000 worth of new business in the last 6 weeks. So, and that's without any salespeople or, any concerted effort on bringing in certain types of clients yet. So
your primary way, Joe, kind of to break things down again, the core method again and again and again throughout everyone you've met is free traffic. And then Joe's way of making money was some affiliate, some pay-per lead, some clients. Again, pay-per lead is kind of in between affiliate and client. It's kind of a hybrid, and then some with his own products. Greg, just so you know, has done it all over the board. Some client stuff, especially selling sites, a lot of money from affiliate stuff, and a lot of money from his own products. So Greg's really in all three categories. Cotton is a purist. Cotton's almost all of his money comes just directly from SEO client consulting. Fletch, your model again, a little bit more with the pay per lead. Actually, it's a kind of a primary thing for you. Now getting into client consulting and then bridging back to your own products and services.
Yep, that's pretty much exactly it. It's nice to be in the community, like you said, just because I get to see all these different business models and, kind of pick my own experience and really kind of the life and the businesses I want to create and put that into play. I was fortunate to meet Cotton and we hit it off, and he shared really kind of the way he approaches client consulting. And I'm like, you know what, I want that to be part of what we do too. So, I was able to put together a business in 5 or 6 months, and it wasn't like I was working full time on it, just really waiting for the right things to come together. Where that business standalone right now, it's doing $500,000 a year, and I really don't have to work on it. It's not something that takes up any of my time at all. So it's pretty cool to get to see what other people are doing so successfully that are willing to kind of open up and share and help get things pointed in the right direction for you if you've got questions or you're wondering about things. Because really when you do kind of control that free traffic, it makes a lot of businesses possible and profitable very quickly, without a lot of overhead and startup costs and trying to find a ton of time hiring a bunch of people and all that kind of thing. You just don't have to do that. So it's I know of no other place or I guess talent that can facilitate making a startup profitable this quickly.
Yeah, that's a wonderful way of putting things together. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Fletch. I think one of Fletch's favorite numbers, number 7. So give Fletch 3 sevens for the lucky 777. If you're glad to have heard from him, I think that was really valuable, really valuable stuff. So lucky 7s for Fletch, 3 sevens, and really appreciate Fletch jumping on and sharing with us. It's extraordinary success. It gives you so many different angles. Verneal actually gave you apparently 2.7 million sevens. So particularly appreciative. Jim Thorpe gave you 7 sevens. So lots of appreciation.
Very cool. Thanks, guys, so much. Appreciate it.
In the audience. Thank you, Fletch. Well, at this point, what I want to do is, we're certainly just about to wrap up here. I do want to give folks a sense for what's going on with Amazon. We didn't happen to bring on any of our 6-figure per month Amazoners. We have several, but just the way it worked out, we more had people who are in the areas they are. Just volunteers. You kind of get what you get. A little bit potluck of money getting. So what I'll do is I'll quickly pull up our earnings reports compilation. This is at omgmachines.com/earnings reports. And this is Bob Proctor speaking out on us. We're very proud of our association with Bob. This is Jamal, 60,000 a month. This is actually at the same event that Reed and I met up at. This is Liz. Liz is.
You want to tell me? I met Mike.
Liz is a pretty shocking success. She's made as much as $1 million in a single month on Amazon. This is actually one of her little earnings reports from one of several of her accounts. That's it's $436,922 from December 10th to January 10th. December 10th of 2014 to January 10th. This is one of several accounts. Give me a 1 if you find that to be a shocker. It's kind of funny, right? Kind of funny, kind of fun. We had a lot of people at the beginning of the event interested in seeing some Amazon fireworks. We had a few people. Took a few seconds for the ones to start pouring in because I think we had a few people's hearts skip a beat. She's not the only one. We have Here's another good one is Jack Harvell. Jack's actually well up over $100,000 a month at this point on Amazon. It's a little bit of an older earnings report for him. What I'll say about Amazon is you really, really, really you want to combine and blend the traditional strategic approach to Amazon, which is picking good products. And it's a little cliche of me to say. I have my background in e-commerce. I made my first $1 million with e-commerce, and of course, you got to pick good products. Anyone who tells you can sell junk they're probably selling junk, so you probably don't want to listen to them. But the other thing is, good products, good reviews, of course. But again, you really want to bolster it with free traffic from the search engines. It helps so much. Amazon very much has a kind of whatever traffic you give them, they kind of double it back. They automatically have retargeting that follows people around. So if you can get people to your pages, their retargeting will follow around. They'll give you more rankings, and this is really the secret to success of Jack and Liz and Brian and Mike Bittler, the various six-figure per month Amazoners that we have inside of OMG. I know that's a very, very, very small amount of information on Amazon, but really, surprisingly enough, people really miss the boat and they don't do free traffic from the Google search engines when it comes to their to their Amazon stuff, and it's a huge, huge mistake, and it's a real oversight. We have lots more earnings reports on this page. This spans down hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I'm very proud of them. We're a small to medium-sized group, but we have big, big, big success. And again, very, very, very proud of that. So what I do want to say is, certainly the people who can join us, obviously anyone who's serious about business is going to join us. OMG is a city on a hill. It's a place where friends come together in Providence. Nothing like this has ever existed. As Reed pointed out at the beginning of the event, I've been around the block. I've seen it all, and there's never been anything like this, and I'm very proud of it. It's because it's founded on free traffic, but it's also founded on kind of brotherhood, like leave no man behind, and that's really what we do here, and I'm very, very proud of it. So so ultimately, we're going to give folks the opportunity to come in and join us. I'll tell you, it's not cheap to join us. It's not $100,000. It should be, by all rights. Certainly, getting coaching with Cotton, over his shoulder, step by step, with him answering your questions week after week for a whole year. That's a $25,000 coaching in any sane universe. You guys making $300,000 a month. Fletch, is making at this point $60,000-$70,000 a month. Getting coaching from him, having him active in the groups, answering your questions, answering emails. It's a $25,000 coaching. Same thing with Joe. Same thing with Greg. You stack up enough of those, it's $100,000 coaching. Now we don't charge $100,000, and it's most certainly worth way more than $100,000. And if we charge $100,000, it'd be overwhelmingly fair. That said, it's still not cheap. It's a small fraction of that, but it's still not cheap. And so anybody who isn't in a position to join us today, who is serious about business, but they're not in a position to join us today, you've benefited from finding out about a framework for free traffic, for having a way of looking at things and making sense of it, to being able to cut through the bull and getting your head wrapped around what's going on with this and how powerful it is. So when you're hearing about this thing and that thing and this shiny object, you can kind of zero in and dial in. And we've also talked about some of the pitfalls to avoid and ways to overcome obstacles. You've heard it from real people showing their real websites making millions right now, today. People who had their back to the wall and who are now having overwhelming success. So everyone's benefited. Of course, the biggest benefit is to be able to come in and join us. So what I'm going to do right now is walk through what somebody would do if they are in a position to join us. And I'll do that right now. It's a little document that I'm working on for one of my Amazon products. We're working on some over the shoulder series for that. So this is what you'll do if you'd like to come and join us. First of all, this is the earnings reports compilation. And at any point, if you have questions, you can always email me at omg@omgmachines.com. That is my personal email address. We don't have any outsourcers that we work with. We don't have any employees. It's all just us. Everyone who's involved with OMG is having extraordinary personal success with business and really knows what they're doing. You go to omgmachines.com/read to come and join us. This is a special link. I'm going to put that in a browser right now. All right. And this is, so it's actually weirdly being a little bit bombarded here. This is an open letter to everyone who secretly suspects or even knows in their heart that you need an unfair advantage if you really want to make money online. And this is an open letter that I wrote up, and you can see some of the results here. This is Cotton actually opening up his bank account. And this is the first $1.3 million he made. This is Becker, $1.23 million in 30 days. A lot of people don't know that Becker got to start with us. Basically, the backstory behind OMG, which is what all this text is for, is that I really just wanted to see where the money was being made. I wanted to see somebody like Cotton show me over their shoulder, step by step, every keystroke, every mouse click that they made to building literally a very successful website, e-commerce site, Amazon listing. I wanted to see exactly where the money was being made, what mouse clicks, what keystrokes, because I figured, it's a website. All it can be is a combination of keystrokes and mouse clicks. That's all it can be. All right. At the end of the day, that's what's going to make money. And so, look, I bought info products. I bought coaching. I paid for events. I wasn't afraid to spend thousands of dollars, and I didn't find it. I just didn't find anybody who was having real success who could show me step by step over their shoulder the keystrokes and mouse clicks that it took for them to get traffic to their website to make money with. And that was very frustrating for me. So what I did was I went ahead and and let me tell you what I did find. I found a sanitized approach to things. I found gurus telling me what they thought that I wanted to hear, but not showing me what they're doing. Okay, so they told me what I wanted to hear, but what they didn't do was show me what they're doing. And I wanted to see what they're doing. So what I did was I used the skills that made me popular in high school. I wasn't kind of one of these bullies or anything like that, but I was pretty popular and had a lot of friends. And I used those skills to get together some people that were making some money and got them to show me how they're making their money, their keystrokes, their mouse clicks. And I basically immediately started making a lot of money. It just blew through the barriers for me. I'll never forget the first week that I made $10,000. And then a week later, I made another $10,000. It literally felt like the weight of the world just lifted right off my shoulders. I highly recommend the experience for everybody because it'll make you dance in the street. So wonderful, wonderful feeling. And once I had that feeling, I wanted to share it with others. It took me years to find a person. It took me and David Mills years to find a person to build a program around, somebody that we could really show duplicatable success from. And that's what Greg Morrison did for us. By the way, this is Fletch. Somebody asked earlier, who was that talking? That was Fletch. Fletch was our last speaker. This is Fletch at Disney World. This is Fletch's first 10 grand that he made. This is Jimmy Kelly, another one of our coaches. Again, extraordinary, extraordinary success. This is affiliate, money getting CPA, $1.3 million, and also some client consulting. This is Tim. He's probably our most successful e-commerce guy. It's a little hard to say. We have a lot of people having a lot of success, and anywhere between 5, 10, 15, 20, sometimes as much as $50,000 in a given day, in the right kind of peak sales month, that kind of thing. and we built the program around Greg. This is OMG No Holds Barred 2015 Project Breakthrough. And what you get with this is, let's have this here, the best coaches that money can't buy. And what I mean by that is you're getting coached by the people that you just met. Joe, who made $62,000 last month. Guess what? You find a guy that made $62,000 last month, it's very hard to impossible to pay him as an employee to do coaching. It doesn't happen. After that, you met Greg, who's made six figures a month for years on end. Can't really pay a guy like that to do coaching just to pay him. Like it's not like he's like, yeah, I'll work for 20 an hour or even 1,000 an hour because he doesn't want to be an employee. These are coaches that money can't buy. Cotton, $330,000 last month. I mean, what do you want? I mean, it's outrageous. You can't pay a person like that to do coaching. You have to bribe them with something much more. Fletch, you met him, $60,000, $70,000 a month. It's extraordinary. Liz does coaching for us. Liz is making $500,000 a month on Amazon. All right. Best coaches that money can't buy. Jimmy, Russell, Sue, Travis, best coaches money can't buy. How do we do it? It's a bit of a miracle of business building that my partner David Mills, mine and Greg's and Cotton's and Fletch's and Joe's partner David Mills came up with, concocted for us, built a system where we could all come together, in this kind of city on a hill community, where it's just very enjoyable for us to work together and team up and help people have massive success. So you're getting the best coaches that money can't buy. That includes over-the-shoulder training in a membership area, step-by-step coaching, with Cotton, Greg, Joe, Fletch, time to time me, Jimmy, Russell, Sue. It's just an extraordinary situation. Liz on Amazon, and then our City on Hill community. You heard everyone on this event shout from the rooftops about how extraordinary our community is, the pay it forward culture, no man left behind, almost military style. And that's why people are having such overwhelming success. We're very, very, very proud of that. So that's the basic rundown. What you get is lifetime access to our training membership area, including our world-renowned over-the-shoulder training and our blueprint, our step-by-step written blueprint, our coaching that runs through the end of 2015. Although realistically speaking, people that joined us all the way back in 2012 have gotten 2 coachings this week. So infer from that what you will. And our extraordinary City on a Hill community, which is inside of our Facebook groups, which we're all active in. It's the only place that we're active in, and is just the best secret Facebook groups in the world. So it's omgmachines.com/read. This is Project Breakthrough. This is a rundown of what we're doing here, what's involved with it. It's everything all the way from how to get started, the framework, the free traffic, all the way through the money getting, whether you're going to make your money as an affiliate, whether you're going to make your money with client consulting like Cotton does, or whether you're going to make your money with Amazon and your own products like Liz does with Amazon, like some of the guys that you met make with their own products. This is our newsletter that you can sign up with. Definitely add your email to that if you'd like. And then this is just more about Greg and kind of a letter from Greg, and he shows his first $1 million that he made. Ultimately, what I'll say, I know that the number one question that's on people's mind is how much does it cost? It doesn't cost $100,000. It should, but we did find a way to bring the cost down. What I can also say is that there is a very significant price increase coming very soon. The price will go up by thousands of dollars very shortly. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. I'll bring that up probably as time goes on. Now, this doesn't cost $100,000. It doesn't cost anywhere close to that, but it's well worth it. Um, we do provide that structure, that exact step-by-step blueprinted process, and this is where it's at. This is a one-stop shop. I think that Fletch put it really well, where you really can't typically find one place that you can go where you can have just extraordinary success. Now, I can tell you the space is very limited because it's just us, and we refuse to pawn off coaching on some guy who makes $20 an hour. Even though we feel like this coaching course is very inexpensive for what it gives, we very much recognize that it's still significant investment of your hard-earned money, and we take that very seriously. Now, in return, we ask that you be pleasant and positive with other members and with us. We're devoting a ton of our own time with this, and space is very limited. So similar to university or other coaching programs, tuition is non-refundable. And if you take a payment plan, you're expected to complete those payments. This is one of the primary ways where we are able to massively reduce the cost of this course, because that way everyone is joining is in for a penny, in for a pound. They've burned their bridges. They're moving forward, nothing but success. I will tell you this. I have tried to do coaching with somebody who's sitting around thinking about getting a refund, and it is impossible because they have one foot in and one foot out. And, the law of attraction is like attracts like. If somebody's sitting around thinking about getting a refund, then that's what they're thinking about. And it makes me want to refund on them. It's not what I want. It's not what I want for our coaches. We have the best coaches that money can't buy. They live life without a guarantee, although they have a lot of success. You have to as well. So that's how we massively, massively reduce the price. Now, we will live up to what we've promised. You can count on that. But what you do with it is up to you. Once you find just one or two clients, or make a halfway decent affiliate domination site, or put up an Amazon product or build your own product that's successful, you can make up your tuition money very quickly. But that's up to you. We've all earned our money. We can't earn yours. As long as you're fine with that, we welcome you with open arms, gratitude, and an absolute passion for your success. Now it's your turn. Now, please note there are no upsells. All right. So ultimately, the $10,000 question, how much does it cost? Instead of $100,000, it costs right around $20 per day for lifetime access. So you can pay that as one payment of $69.99 for lifetime access to training, blueprint software, and membership community, and coaching that we guarantee through at least August of 2015. Realistically speaking, it'll go at least through the end of 2015. And like I said, members who joined us all the way back in 2012 are still getting coaching sessions today. They got 2 this week. So no guarantees on that, but that's our track record. You can also join us by clicking this green button here for 6 monthly payments of $11.89. Again, for lifetime access to training, blueprint software, and membership community and coaching through at least August of 2015. This absolutely works for beginners. This works anywhere in the world. We finally have an extended payment plan of 12 payments of just $5.99, still less than $20 a day, for lifetime access to training, blueprint software, and membership community and coaching through at least August of 2015. Now, a few notes here. This is what $1 million looks like. And you can see it in Cotton's bank account or any number of our members' bank accounts. But this is what it feels like. It feels like family. It feels like freedom. It feels like travel. It feels like the ability to retire. We're very, very proud of what we're doing. So these are the payment buttons, the big 3 green payment buttons. Sometimes people miss that. And then what we have here below is hundreds and hundreds of Facebook comments and blog comments from our members. This is, by the way, Daryl. Daryl's 67 years old, and he is now making around $40,000 per month. Very, very proud of Daryl. I didn't know that he went to the University of Utah. Maybe I did know. Anyways, 67 years old. Heidi, Glenn started making around 20 grand in his first month with us. Not everybody does that. This is Todd Hallstrom. Really proud of these comments here. He's an NFL player. Compares our team to Super Bowl coaches. Scott Schaff. It's an incredibly, incredibly powerful story. Just a Army veteran or Air Force veteran deployed in Afghanistan, used OMG to get out of that. Kurt Angut. Anyway, so many of our members, you can meet him here. It goes on and on and on. This is the world's only sales letter that's hosted on a blog, and it's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Facebook and blog comments that you can look through. Very proud of what we do and how we do it. It's end to end. It's free traffic. You will understand how to get free traffic, and you will understand how to turn that free traffic into massive money, whether it's through affiliate, SEO, client consulting, or Amazon products. We've shown you examples of all those. This is Tim with all his money. We'll let things kind of rest there. I know these are kind of shock numbers here. OMG, it's really sitting on a hill. We really enjoy it. This is, once again, where to go and join us, omgmachines.com/read. You can check our earnings reports. By the way, these are earnings reports, not our testimonials. We have hundreds of more testimonials. I guess I could pull that up for you here. So if you want to see some testimonials as well, if you want to see hundreds of testimonials, testimonials. But these are all earnings reports. People, almost all of them are making 5 figures per month or 6 figures per month. And this is OMG at omgmachines.com, which is where you can ask me questions. So this is how you can join us. What I want to do is give our special guests the last word, and then we will close things out for the night. Joe, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mike.
Man, what's your final word?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, I mean, here's the thing. I was thinking about this. I live here on Long Island right now in New York, and my family was out, and they went to go out and see the lighthouse. And if I compare it to what my life was before I was in OMG, I was doing marketing, I was getting clients. It was like I was in the ocean at night. I was making my way, but I didn't really have a straight path to go to. And when I joined OMG, it was like that lighthouse that it was a path that I can follow. And so if there's a change in the algorithm, or if there's something I need to do, as long as I keep on that path and I'm have my eyes on that light, then I'm going to be all right. And it's pretty much exploded my business. So there's nothing like the community and the people that we have here in OMG.
No, I really appreciate you saying that. I actually kind of brings chills to me. I mean, I say it again and again. OMG is a city on a hill. It's a place where friends come together in Providence, and that lighthouse is a powerful metaphor. Fletcher, you still there?
Yeah, Mike, I'm still on.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Last word.
Yeah, for sure. For me at this point, I've been in OMG long enough, and I've seen people, and myself being one of them, that really decided, for whatever reason it is, that they were going to kind of turn things around and take it up to the next level, and really live a much fuller life, one that's really focused on the contribution and lifestyle that they get to have every day. And for me, the reason I love jumping on these is I know there are other people out there like that are listening to these webinars that are just really looking for what Joe described, a lighthouse, a place that's like, this is not a push button millionaire situation. You've got to jump in, you got to learn it, you got to do it and apply it. But the thing is that in life, there really are very few things that you can become a part of that can so totally transform your life. And I live for that now. I live to really kind of help other people who are in that period of time, get their footing and get their direction, and just really make use of that internal drive that they've got and apply it the right way to change things and really kind of live more fully and do kind of what they want to be doing, not only with their business but their personal life and everything else. So I take every opportunity I can to jump on these and just reach out, tell my story and just be as real as I can, because there's other great people that we need to get in front of and to show a way to create that life that they want to have. And I'm happy to do that every time I get a chance. So I appreciate the opportunity to do that.
I appreciate it, Fletch. God bless you. Yeah, it's again, your tirelessness inside of our community and all the questions that you answer and the example you provide. I've said it again and again. I mean, it was a real turning point when you came on board a little over a year ago, about a year and 3 months ago, a year and 4 months ago. A little before that, because you were doing a lot of like volunteer stuff and small projects and so forth, and it's made a world of difference, Fletch. So I'm grateful to you every day.
Thanks for saying that, Mike. I really appreciate it, and appreciate the opportunity. Honestly, this is it's opened up a whole new world to me, and I'm happy to wake up every day and excited about the contribution I can make.
I love it. Cotton the Hammer Grammar. Can you bring things home for us?
Sure. Guys, what I want you to understand is anytime you want to learn a new profession, you're going to have to go to school for it. School's very expensive. You're going to have, you go to medical school, I've know people that's got out that's hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. What we're looking at is OMG's the cost that's so minimal compared to a 4-year degree or anything. And there is no degree that you can get that's going to teach you in any university how to get free traffic. There's no bachelor's, master's, there's no PhD for it. And some of the best people in the world are teaching it for you. And if you're tired of bouncing around from course to course, trying to find your way, who has the right answers, who doesn't? I've never seen a group that has this many income reports compiled together, or this many successful people transparently showing exactly how they're having success. If you want to be a part of this and be in a group to where we're all pushing forward in the same direction, we're all helping one another, where when you have a question, that someone's there to answer it, someone's there to pick you up when you're having a hard time, then this group is for you. If you want to spend more time with your family, if you're at a dead-end job that just that's not what you're supposed to be, here's what I can tell you. Right now you think you have security at your job until someone comes in and takes it away from you or your company shuts down. So why would you want to take a chance on something that you're not even happy with? Take a chance on something that you might love to do and fail at that. We don't have any guarantees, but one of the things that I can tell you is I can guarantee you that you're going to be working off the same information that got me to where I'm at right now, that got Greg to where he's at, Fletch, Joe, and all the hundreds of other people that you're seeing in that income report. If you come in and if you really committed, not just interested, I think you can change your life and you can help change the lives around you as well. I look forward to seeing you on the inside, and if you happen to get inside of OMG, please send me a message. I'm very, very, very concerned and really try to help as many people as I can, and I look forward to hearing about your success. Back to you, Mike.
All right, well, I got chills down my spine. You're right. It's kind of weird. Somebody else may have said it before, but I've just never heard anybody say that there's just no free traffic university. There's just not. There's just no. There has been and never. I mean, there just never has been. There's never been a place where you could just year in, year out, month in, month out, week in, week out. Yeah, I mean, I just think that's very powerful. And again, Cotton, just like I said to Fletch, just like I said to Joe, you've absolutely transformed the landscape of OMG, and I'm just incredibly, incredibly grateful to you. So thank you. You guys are all like brothers to me. Okay. Reed, thank you so much for the opportunity to come on this event. Obviously, I'll give you the absolute last word here, and then we'll say goodnight.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Cotton, and thank you, Fletch. I mean, this was full of inspiration. This is some wonderful training you gave out. I mean, it's just really eye-opening, the kind of results that you guys are having with SEO, the kind of results your students are having with SEO. I was blown away when we were at Onyx event and you had so many people came up to you and they thanked you from the bottom of their hearts. I mean, a lot of people were giving you video testimonials right there on the spot, sharing the kind of results that they're having from OMG. I've been going through OMG myself and just, going through the information you have, and this is the best SEO or free traffic method training I've seen on the internet. I mean, this just blows me away, the kind of information that you guys are sharing, how in depth that you go. I mean, if someone can't make this work, they're doing something wrong. I mean, it's just amazing the kind of value that you guys have put together. This is just over the top. It's just incredible the kind of success people are having with OMG, the kind of training that you guys put in there, the kind of coaching you have, in the community you've built. I have not seen anything like this anywhere else. It is absolutely incredible, and I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all of you guys for coming on the call, sharing your stories, sharing the techniques you're using, and making this available for people to invest in, for people to actually change their life by taking action on this. So what you guys want to do, everyone on the call, you want to go to omgmachines.com/read right now. As Mike mentioned, they've got the full payment plan, or they've got breaking it down where you can do a 6-pay or a 12-month pay. So they've made it very affordable. You need to get in on this. This has my full endorsement. This is the best system out there for getting SEO, the best system out there for getting free traffic. If you want to succeed on the internet, I highly, highly encourage you to invest in this and take action.
Oh, thank you very much, Reed. Again, just like your opening to close was very inspiring to me. So I really appreciate that. Everybody, thanks so much for joining us, and I will see you. I'll see you on the inside of OMG.